and tactics. So at that point, you need the marketing plan, of course, which takes, starting from the vision and mission of the company and the corporate objectives, does the situation analysis, the environment analysis, and then turns these opportunities into plans. So competing today, that's the process. We know the process. We've been working in the marketing for years. But being the marketing director of a major company like Apple today is a major challenge. The hyper-competition that characterizes today's markets makes the task of developing new products and identifying first, before that, even identifying who your competitor is. All these tasks are pretty hazy. They are very difficult to be defined, and to analyze them. Take, for example, the latest development, the latest introduction to the smartphone market by the likes of Google, T-Mobile, and HTC. Back in October of 2008, T-Mobile and Google introduced G1, the first smartphone based on Google's Android operating system, a direct competitor to Apple's iPhone. So what this new product features is, in addition to the touchscreen display, a QWERTY keyboard, along with a trackball. And this device now, which is powered by the Android operating system, which has been developed and pushed by Google, this device has been designed and developed by HTC and offered by T-Mobile to its customers. So the cost of development for this device is supposedly less than the corresponding cost of the iPhone. So Apple, all of a sudden, is faced with a formidable competitor like Google in a new market for both Apple and Google, and that's the mobile services market. So here we are, where we have two newcomers to the market coming from different sectors: traditional PC computing industry or the web, and competing for parts of the turf in the mobile marketing business. So that's the situation that we are faced with today. We have to analyze the environment, identify opportunities, design, do our STP homework, come up with a strategy, and design the mix. So we better know exactly what the environment is and what are the key trends that are shaping the environment that we are competing in, which is the convergent ICT industry, information and communication technologies industry. So two key trends that have shaped this industry recently, namely the convergence that's been taking place between the telecom industry, the telecom, the computing, and the media industry, and finally, and at the same time, the emergence of the social web, or as it's called, the second generation of web, Web 2.0. So this combination has led to introduction of new products, and like Google Maps and the Google itself, new business models, Amazon, eBay, new worlds, artificial, virtual worlds, like Second Life or other types of online virtual communities. So that's the new situation. That's the situation that we are faced with. Some manifestations of convergence, how convergence has changed the type of products and services we're offering. One of the earliest one is, of course, VoIP, voice over IP, or internet telephony, and, of course, the well-known example of Skype, which has a disruptive technology, a disruptive service to the telecom industry, which has created havoc to the telecom industry, the main business of the telecom industry, and that's voice. But nowadays, people use the web not only to exchange files or communicate with each other via voice, but they use it in many other ways, and that's the whole trend of the different usage of the web by people is called the social web, Web 2.0, which is much more about the change in the way people and the society use the web than the technology, the underlying technology. So what we have today, we have 1 billion people connected to the web with more than 100 million websites, and at least in the US, more than a third of the adults having contributed content to the public internet. And of course, there is a generation gap there when we see that the demographics, only 18% of adults over 65 have contributed content to the web. So what we've seen now, what we have experienced in terms of the web, is a change in the traffic and pattern. That's the image, the traffic flow in 96 versus 2006. In 96, people would use the web as an information repository. They would seek information from some main servers residing on the web, whereas today, more and more people not only download information from the web, but they create and upload their own content to the web, and that's a major change. And that has made Time magazine, back as early as December of 2006, to identify the importance of this trend and name you, the end user, the individual, as the person of the year. So signifying the importance of the individual for business and the economy. And of course, in order to master this new medium, to master the way people have been using web and the change in the way they have used the web, we need new business models. Probably you are familiar with the long tail, the business logic that propels and empowers the likes of Amazon or eBay. And that's the book that has been articulated in the book by Chris Anderson, Why the Future of Business is Selling Less of More. Of course, in addition to that, we have network effects that make product or services become more valuable the more people they use it. And finally, another key trend is data as the new Intel Inside. So proprietary data, which are hard for a competitor to duplicate, become the core assets of major companies. And at the same time, we have data contributed or directly or indirectly by the end user. So we have the key movement of user-generated data or content, which powers most of the businesses today. So that's the situation. But let's see